is what I felt in the half-second before I swiped. Not attraction, warmth, and those are not the same thing no matter what the dog told you. You think the dog is doing the work. It isn't. The dog is a garnish, and you have been treating it like the meal. This is Flairt Insights, the other side of the swipe. Real research, no comforting nonsense. Let's go. Every man on the apps has heard the trick. Borrow a friend's golden retriever, take a few photos, watch the matches roll in. It is folklore. It has been folklore for a decade, and it sounds true because it asks nothing of you. Change nothing, rent a Labrador, win. I need you to hear the thing underneath that. A dog on your profile is not a cheat code. It is seasoning. Seasoning saves a good dish. It does nothing for an empty bowl. And notice who sells you the easy version. The advice accounts love the dog trick because it is cheap to sell and it lets you skip the hard part. There is even a word for the men who took it too far: dogfishing. Men who do not own a dog posing with one because a blog promised them the animal prints matches. That is not a strategy. That is a costume. So let's do the part the folklore skips. What is the dog actually doing? A pet is a social cue. Your brain reads the other living things in a photo as information about the man standing in it. The research here is clean. Put a man next to a woman, show him in a warm social setting, and women rate him as more attractive than the exact same man alone. Same face, different frame. That is mate choice copying, and it is real. A dog runs a softer version of that same wire. It says, other living things choose to be near this man, and they rely on him. It shows up off the apps too. Men asking a woman for her number on the street did better with a dog at their side than without one, because a dog needs walking, feeding, attention, so it whispers that the owner is reliable, that he can care for something. But here's the verdict, and it is the one nobody selling you the trick will say out loud. What the dog triggers is warmth, not attraction. A dog cannot take an unattractive man and make him attractive. It can only add a layer to a man who already holds the eye. It gives complexity to appeal that is already there. It does not build appeal out of nothing. The dog is not the reason she stops scrolling. It is the reason she stays 1 second longer once she already has. Now, not every pet sends the same signal, and this is where a lot of men quietly hurt themselves. Researchers looked at 2,400 dating profiles, 2 cities on opposite ends of the planet, Vienna and Tokyo. In both, dogs were the most shown animal, not close. Dogs were 46% of the animal photos, cats 26%. People reach for the dog for a reason. It is the animal that most obviously advertises a social life.
And it does something specific for a man. Because a dog demands daily effort, it reads as proof of exactly that. Men labeled dog people get seen as more masculine, more attractive than men labeled cat people. The dog is not just cute. It is a dependability signal wearing fur. Then there is the cat. And I am going to be precise here because this one costs men and they never see it coming. In one study, 708 women ages 18 to 24 looked at men posing with cats. The verdict? Less masculine, more neurotic, less dateable. Short-term and long-term. Same warmth logic, opposite result. Purely the species. I am not telling you to rehome your cat. If the cat is your life, one calm photo will not sink you. What sinks you is leading with it, stacking 3 of them, letting the animal write your first impression before you have said a single word. And I have done the swiping. I have watched a genuinely good profile lose me at the cat photo before the part of my brain that does nuance even woke up. That's how fast it is. That's how unfair it is. I'm not defending it. I am telling you it is happening. Here's the mistake underneath all of it. You get, 6 photos? Every single one is a job interview, and a pet placed wrong does not help you. It interviews the wrong candidate. A photo that's only your dog interviews your dog. A photo where the dog covers half your face interviews nobody. And the group shot where a stranger cannot instantly tell which one is you, that hands your appeal to whoever looks more like the subject. Because the research is specific on this. Social context lifts a man only when he is obviously the one being looked at. Be the main character or the whole effect dies. The photo that actually works is the opposite of the one you're posting. Not you alone on a bed with a dog. You at the center of a group of friends who are visibly enjoying you, the dog woven in. Now you're running 3 signals in one frame. Social proof, because people orbit you. Warmth, from the dog. Status, because you're the one everyone is turned toward. That frame does more than any solo pet shot you'll ever take. And there's an age trap nobody warns you about. A 22-year-old with a puppy reads as cute. A 45-year-old man alone with 5 cats reads as something else, and it's not fatherly. Pets filter. They pull some people toward you and push others away. That's not a flaw in the plan. That is the entire mechanism. The only question that matters is whether the crowd your pet filters for is the crowd you actually want.
Now, here's the part the rent-a-dog crowd got accidentally right. Warmth does real work. It just pays off on a different clock. Women read the masculine cues in a man's face and map them onto short-term attraction. They read kindness, warmth, and map those onto the long term. Men shown being warm with an infant were rated more attractive than men just shown being kind some other way. Nurturance is its own currency. It does not buy, I would swipe, it buys, I could build something with him. A dog is a nurturance cue. If you want a relationship and not a Saturday, the warmth your pet signals is aimed at exactly the right target. But even then, watch what it is doing. It is advertising the meal. It still is not the meal. It amplifies a man worth building with. It cannot invent one. So keep the dog or lose it. The honest answer is, it depends. And I do not mean that as a dodge. It depends on your age, your face, the woman you're actually trying to reach. A warm 28-year-old chasing something real, the golden retriever might be his single best asset. A 40-something who already reads a little solitary, the cat pile is working against him, quietly, every day. Same animal, opposite outcome. That's the whole problem with folklore. It hands every man the same answer to a question that's different for every man. Get a dog pic is useless the second you ask which pic, which pet, which slot for which goal. Those are the only questions that decide whether that animal is earning its place or wasting a photo you cannot get back. And here's the bigger thing. The dog was never the point. The man holding the leash is. A pet can only ever say something true about you, louder. Your job is to make sure the true thing it's saying out loud is the one you'd actually choose. That was Flairt Insights. Find us on Spotify or watch the studio cut on YouTube. Everything here is educational, the pattern, not your profile. If you want the real read on what your pet photos and every other shot are signaling to her, Flairt.ai will tell you. Go look.